what? But I was not expecting the price actually. What are you doing here working for the US government? That this is very difficult. This is a roller coaster. I have a coach, I did therapy, I do astrology, bringing people in my team, men, just to feel confident. Let's start building a new score just for migrants. I'm also a migrant.
Me too.
Oh, you're living in Colombia, like who you marry?
Well, I feel good. Hey everyone, we're here in Santiago with Mercedes Bidart, who created Quipu, an application that would change the world for the good. Mercedes was born and raised in Argentina.
Yeah.
Mercedes was born and raised in Argentina, and now she's building in Colombia. And today we're going to ask her what it feels like to be the winner of 2026 Aurora Tech Award and actually to be a winner, in your life. Unlike with the other finalists, we're creating this interview right after we knew the names of the winners. So today, half of the questions would be about the emotions and the other questions would be, about the business. Hi, Mercedes.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for the space and for everything that's going on around this prize.
You're welcome. I've noticed that your dad was here with you yesterday.
And my mom was also here.
Oh, she also was here.
Was the one that was shouting like crazy.
Oh, okay. What was their initial reaction? We just found out she was shouting. What else did they say to you? Did they understand that you might win, or was it a big surprise for you?
So as I was saying, I'm from Argentina, so my parents live in Argentina, and Buenos Aires is just 2 hours flight to Santiago. So when I told them that I was coming, at the beginning I was going to leave today, so because my birthday is tomorrow, and I wanted to be with my husband in Colombia. But my dad told me, wait, it's just 2 hours. We will go and let's spend your birthday with you. And I was like, yeah, you're fine. You're right. I will stay till Sunday. So they came for my birthday and also for the event yesterday, but I was not expecting to win at all. I was just coming to, get to know you, be I know that you will give us a lot of exposure. So of course I wanted to come, but I was not expecting the prize actually. So then when I got the first one, the Fintech track, they don't speak English. So they didn't even know what was going on with the first prize. They thought that was the final prize. My parents went crazy. My mom started crying, shouting let's go Quipu, vamos Quipu, but she was shouting if we were in a final of the World Cup. And they are Argentinians, so they love football. So they were so extremely happy. Claro, but then I thought, okay, I won't get 2 prizes. This is it. I mean, it's perfect, it's fine. I'm very happy with this one, and that's fine. So then I was chilling. I was just talking with one of our investors and with my parents.
Yeah, where were you?
No, just there, not paying even attention.
Oh, okay.
And then it was Mercedes Bidart, you won. I was like, what? I was literally not paying attention. I thought that, okay, with 1 is enough. I don't need to win 2 prizes. So, no, but it was great because, of course, it comes with money, so it's better. So, yeah, they went crazy. They were, out of their bodies. And I feel that, for a parent, I come from them, right? I am who I am because of my parents. So it was super special to have them here.
So I assume you had full support at home with your family, with your husband.
Yeah, so I live in Colombia. I've been living outside of Argentina for 8 years now. They need to travel to Colombia or any place I am, and I need to travel to Argentina to see them. But since I was a little kid, they always supported me. They were always there for me. I was living in New York, working for the mayor's office, working on a minority and women-owned business area inside the mayor's office. This was right before COVID. They came to visit me, and I was so burned out just by working at the government and at the same time having Quipu. But Quipu was a small idea, that was coming from school, but it was there and it was very important to me. And my dad saw me so burned out that he told me, and he's an entrepreneur, right? So he told me, what are you doing here working for the US government? Why don't you go to Colombia and just do your business? Just do your dream. You shouldn't be in chasing the American dream. I knew I wanted to go to Colombia, but when your parents help you take the decision and support you on that, even if they never been to Colombia before, that gave me the energy to say, yes, that's right. Like what I'm doing here, I need to go to Colombia and I need to make this happen. Like, I'm young, I have the time, I have the energy, let's do it. Then is when I made the decision to go to Colombia. And 10 days after I get to Colombia, to a city in the Caribbean coast called Barranquilla, I met who now is my husband. So, it was a full story of my parents that support me, of course, but then building all of this, that this is very difficult. This is a roller coaster. Like, it was not like a hockey stick. Like, there were a lot of moments when things were not working at all. And having the support of my husband right now in all that process was really important also. Like, to have someone at home that is not competing with me. He's my cheerleader. Like, he wants me to succeed. And that calms me down and grounds me,
Have you ever had this idea that your story is super exceptional because most women wouldn't get the support of the surroundings of people around them? Did you actually think about it?
Yes, you're right. I think I not always...
It's not like I'm talking like I'm trying to shame you or like tell you have a privilege. Right. Yeah. It's not like that. I'm just trying to understand, like, if you were like, the real question would be, were you ever intimidated to start a business as a woman? Because like seeing the other examples.
No.
Fair answer.
No, and I think it was I didn't know. I didn't even know that there was a difference between men and women up until I created it. Because I was not coming from business industry. I was coming from working at a think tank, working at an NGO, studying at the academia where women will succeed pretty well, and mostly social sciences. So I'm coming from social sciences. So in social sciences, we drive as women. I'm not coming from the financial sector or corporate. So I never felt that up until I got into this world of business world. But I have already started. So I was just like, okay, I will make this happen. And I don't, like, where I'm coming from, we are not different than men. We are better. So like, I'm not ashamed of them, So yeah, I think I never thought about that because I didn't know that existed because of the industry I was coming from.
Mm-hmm. But what changed? You said that before you didn't know that, but then you found out, like, what changed?
I found out and I started seeing myself bringing people in my team, men, just to feel confident. So I started bringing people that were not necessary actually, just because I was like, oh, I need someone else's approval, like and maybe like going to meetings and telling them, oh, please, you do this part of the pitch or whatever. After a year and a half, when things were not working at all, like my first idea actually didn't work out. It was for the same sector, like same micro businesses, informal economy, like the problem was always the same, but the first idea didn't work out for a year and a half. And some people left the team, and in a way, I started gaining confidence and saying like, I'm better like pitching this, I'm better like explaining or making decisions on who should be or not in this team. But I needed to find coach, like therapy, like everything around me that could help me to get that confidence in the business world. I have a coach, I did therapy, I do astrology, like everything that can support me in this.
How you felt, what is that, discrimination towards you?
Yeah, as I was saying, like, I try not to even think about it. Like, I just go and I am myself. Like, I don't care much about what they think. But the thing that was helpful in all this journey. But I got comments like, oh, you're living in Colombia, like, who you marry? And I'm like, no, I came here because of my business. And then I met my husband, but like, it's not that I'm here because of a man. I'm here because, and they will never make that question to a man.
Of course.
They will never, like, they say like, oh, you're in a different country doing a business. It's because you're doing a business. No, here it's like, oh, who you marry that you are in Colombia, like, and that happens all the time. What really helped me, at the beginning, I needed to explain like why I was different, why I was like, why what I was doing was worth it, prove it. Like I needed to prove it with a lot of like data and numbers and everything. Of course, right now it's the same, but all these spaces like Aurora, I was a Cartier Fellow in 2024. That changed my life because after that fellowship, people know who I am when I get into a room. And when you are a woman doing this, you are talking all the time with old men. So if they already know who you are, then you don't need to explain yourself and be arrogant by saying who you are and what you got. But if you already there's other external prices that are in a way validating who you are, then when you get into a room, you don't need to explain again. So I think that that's the most valuable thing of these prices and these spaces, is that we don't need to explain ourselves who we are. There's someone else validating ourselves. But then I got to this point of I'm getting this price and then I'm getting the other one. And I don't want people to think that I'm going just for prices. I want to be a businesswoman and prove that my business makes sense. I'm not just this woman that is getting prices. But then I think that we still need them. We need them because it's assuring us and to the world who we are and making those connections that it might be very difficult to do it from scratch. So we need more of these spaces.
We want to know how you got there. And I don't think that, women and our stories are getting heard enough.
I agree. And myself as a founder, I need more women also, older than me, in those positions. Because the other thing that happened is that in all this career, I got a lot of support from men. A lot. I have men that opened all the doors for me. Professors that helped me, also women professors that helped me a lot in all this career. First, we need to acknowledge that men are opening a lot of doors to us.
True that. Right? I mean, they are accustomed to this world.
Exactly. Yeah. And some of them, they are hearing us. They don't care if we are women or men. They are our champions. So we need to recognize them and also put them in these positions to support us. And then in this road, I have women investors, some of them, but I have mentors also. But we need more examples of women that have been able to deal with their family, having kids, their husbands, and also growing a business and traveling and being the figure maybe of the family in a way. So I'm looking for more examples also.
Let me ask you a question, who are these women that you see in the room?
So I will talk about my main mentor, that she's leading the MIT DesignX incubator that incubated us inside the school. Her name is Svafa. She's from Iceland. She sold 2 companies from a lot of money. She has kids, she has a husband, and she's great supporter for me. She's someone that, I can look after too. That is I want to be like her, to succeed in my businesses, then give back by teaching, I can look after her. Then I can look after another men that are supporting me. But it's different because they never been through who we are. That is, It's a different role in the family and in the society. We need more women, business women that are founders, that has been through the moment of saying, I will start this, till exiting, till everything they can do. So it's not just women investors, but also women founders.
Are you ready for the situation where you are these women founders that are becoming the example for younger generation?
I hope so. I hope so. I'm still in the weeds, right? I can say we are on the other side. We still have a long road, I think, as a company, or maybe not so long, but we have some more years of working on this, and until I can say we are super successful. Because in this world, and I'm a VC-backed company, so in this world, or either I have an exit or I have an IPO, right? So I need to look after both of them, or one or the other. So I think I can, or maybe, even if you fail, you have a lot to teach. So yes, I would love to be the one supporting new generation.
Also, I said that because I'm afraid that women from older generations, they had to face that inevitability of living in this dog-eat-dog world where they weren't allowed into any room. So this is why we don't have many examples.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. So today, one of the juries of yesterday, she's at the Oracle, and she was the one organizing the breakfast.
Gloria.
Yeah. But today she told us her story, and yeah, she's one of those, of that generation of women that actually you don't see much. You don't see many of them.
Sad story, but I'm happy we are changing the situation right now.
You are.
Please tell me about Quipu.
At Quipu, we are solving the problem of accessing money for most of our population, which is the informal economy, that is 60% of our population around the world. And these people, by not having a financial history or having the financial history damaged, they are not able to be, to access a loan at a traditional bank. Because usually the bank will look at your past financial history. So we build an alternative way of assessing risk of workers and micro businesses by looking at their present live data, looking at videos of their businesses, at their text messages, at their transactions, at their social media. And by using this information and, of course, AI models, we can predict if someone will pay or not pay. So based on this data is that we provide loans ourselves. So we have our own lending operation, and we also sell the technology to other financial institutions so they can double the impact and approve more people.
How did you come up with this idea?
I have a background in political science and urbanism, and this idea comes from understanding the problem. So I spend a lot of time in informal neighborhoods or informal settlements is how we call them, working with actually women that were selling things from their homes, from different micro businesses, and I was supporting them through a microfinance program. And then I also have experience working with local governments on how they can improve their services to the informal economy in their cities. So I've been doing this. This is like my topic of study in a way. Like I'm passionate about solving this problem. And then I went to do a master's at MIT in cities, and there's where I started understanding how actually technology could solve the problem I was seeing back home. And I founded the company while I was studying. I met my co-founders. One of them is a technical co-founder, and that's how we started saying, okay, I know the problem. I know how we could solve it and what type of data we could be capturing. Let's pull in the technology and see if actually we can, make it scalable. And that was like the whole process. So it comes from a really deep, commitment with solving the problem and understanding the problem.
Were there any personal issue, maybe personal background that make you go for this particular story and make you believe in your story?
I always have this fire inside me of starting things and in a way, creating new things. I trusted that things could be different, and I wanted to be in that seat of driving the change in a way. I was born in a family of entrepreneurs. So my dad and my mom, they have a small business. And I've seen what it is to break, what it is to not have enough money, what it is to just and they always find a way to drive in their business. So I think that came of just being there in a family where I learned what it is to have a business and have that entrepreneurial spirit. But I was very committed to solving social problems. And I think that my whole story of wanting to solve social problems, but at the same time having this fire inside me of this entrepreneurial fire is what allowed me to take really high risks. And I even moved in between countries. I live in a country that is not mine, where we have Quipu, that is Colombia. I'm from Argentina. So basically, I always had this drive of, okay, let's take risks and see what happened. And it paid off in a way.
I had few conversations with other founders throughout the last 3 years. The founders who would be our finalists, the founders who would be our winners. And a lot of them would say that, when I was looking at the most famous businessmen like Elon Musk or Bezos, I would never be able to relate to their story. I would never be able to say, hey, this is a businessman and I could be one too. So you had no confusion like that because you have your personal story with your mom and dad, basically.
Yeah, of course, they have a completely different business, right? But in a way, it was more normal in my family to have your own business than being in a corporation. Because I never seen, growing up, someone that was working for a corporation. I've just seen them working for themselves and having a team of people and, So I think that, yes, it might be something that helped me in this decision in a way.
This is super cool, actually. We found out about the technology. It sounds a little magical. Could you tell me about your famous technology?
So the process is that people apply to the loan, like anyone can apply to the loan in less than 15 minutes by uploading this data that we will ask them to upload. And we run different types of algorithms based on this non-structured data, such as computer vision, natural language processing. And by processing this data and turning it into variables, we can then predict if someone will pay or not. Basically, to build a model, you need data. It could be non-structured, like a video, or structured, like numbers. And then you need the profile of someone, the whole profile, and understanding if that person will pay or not. And once you have enough people and data, then you can predict, oh, this new person that is coming to ask for a loan is more similar to someone that pays or to someone that is not paying. And that's how a model works in a way.
Wow, you're working on algorithms for undocumented migrants with no credit history at all. When does that product launch and how does it change your total addressable market? I read it in the Authority magazine in March 2026. This is quite fresh.
So we got impact link finance money from an organization called Roots of Impact. They're based in Europe. And what they're doing is saying, I won't give you a grant. I will give you money that if you make the impact that we want to make together, then you don't need to give it back, right? So it's like that's what it's called, the impact link finance. And they are pretty focused on migration and refugees. So they call it people on the move. We were already serving people on the move in Colombia. Colombia has a lot of internally displaced people because of the guerrilla and the war, internally war and climate change and all of that. So we were already serving people on the move in Colombia. However, even if our score is alternative and is accepting, like people that the banks are not accepting, we were leaving out migrants from Venezuela mostly. Like after Venezuela's crisis, in Colombia most of migrants from Venezuela went to Colombia because it's just a side and they are very similar. So with this financing structure, we said, let's start building a new score just for migrants because we need to look at them differently than the other population we're serving because we were rejecting most of them. So we started looking at what data we could capture from migrants differently, how they are behaving differently, and how we could start learning from them. So we used this grant to allocate money to this population, and we said, okay, we need to have people that are not paying, we need to have people that are paying, that's how these models work. So we invested as an R&D, like a research and development fund, and we invested in migration, asking for the same type of data we were asking from the other people, but also some type of data that is just, characteristic of migrants on like the ID they have and like, how they do transactions, the type of wallets they use. So we started asking like specific data. So we are at the point of training the model right now. So we've done that last year. We're training the model, and the idea is for this year to grow our migrant population to 10% of our whole clients.
Imagine right now, the world is changing due to the climate crisis, due to the wars that are taking place. And the migration dilemma is actually the most difficult, but the very most relevant and urgent problem that every government will be facing. So like you are already solving that.
There we are.
This woman.
Yeah. And I'm also a migrant, right? So I'm from Argentina. I lived in the US, then in Colombia. So
me too.
You too. most of you, right? Are migrants also. So I know how it is to get into a country and not even getting a credit card.
As far as I know, you named Quipu after the Inca Quipu. Inca Quipu is a knotted record-keeping system the Spanish burned because they couldn't understand it. Why did that story resonate so deeply that you're building?
Yeah, so the Quipu was how the Incas were recording their transactions, their census data, their stories. They are like ropes with knots. So it's not a written language. It's like a different codification in a way. It's like an ancient technology. So when the Spanish people came and conquered Latin America, they burned them because that was like, oh, we cannot understand them. And right now there are studies and groups studying this at MIT, literally, on what the Quipus meaning, what they meant. There's a whole exposition actually on the Quipus and everything. So for me was when I started and I was trying to like come back to the roots of record keeping and the roots of commerce and social interaction. So that's why it's called Quipu, because it's like coming to those roots on how we can understand data. That is not necessarily the mainstream data in a way.
And this actually puts a light on the story that you told me before about how your dad would come to you in the New York City and telling you like, what are you doing in New York working for America? Like,
come, like go back to Latin America.
Yeah. This is so fantastic. Also, in the interview for MasterCard, you said to assess creditworthiness, we're not basing our decision on what you paid in the past. We want to understand your present and your potential. How does this algorithm actually operationalize potential?
Yeah. So if you know what someone is selling, for example, let's talk about a micro business. That is the sector where we really focused a lot. So let's say you have a beauty salon in a informal neighborhood, in a low-income neighborhood, right? You might have like your inventory, your equipment, you have clients, but you don't have a way to prove your financial statements or your, I don't know, maybe you don't have a bank account for your business or your business is not registered. You just do it as an independent worker, but you have like even employees, right? So what we do is saying, if we can capture like what's your inventory, your equipment, like how many transactions you are having, even on a digital wallet, maybe it's not on a traditional bank account, but it's on a digital wallet. If you're paying your bills, for example, like all that data that we can capture in real time and understanding your context. Where is your neighborhood? What is the other businesses that are going on in that neighborhood? Like what's the macro, in a way, economy of beauty salons in this city, in this space of the city, right? So that's how we can measure not just your present and your risk right now, but also what's your potential? What's the potential of this business in a way?
When I talk to this woman, I feel like she invented the whole thing. And she like came up with the idea that many people would like to actually come up themselves. And she made this connection between two different worlds that usually never connect to the technology.
You're right.
Yeah.
And social science, in a way.
This is fantastic. What is your biggest challenge right now and how do you plan to overcome it?
Right now, as different challenges, right? Like some challenges are Quipu challenges, some challenges are like myself challenges, like Mercedes CEO, right? So me as a CEO right now, the challenge is how we are getting a lot of opportunities to scale what we're doing, even outside of Colombia. But I need to take control of the budget. But at the same time, I need more team. But at the same time, we are remote and I need to keep the culture and keep like the team working in an efficient way. So all of that is like my challenge right now. Okay, like we have these growth opportunities. We need to make them right. I need more team to do it. But at the same time, I cannot overspend, right?
True.
So this is the situation where I am right now. And then as a company, it's also these two revenue streams we have. So it's growing the lending operation in Colombia that is giving us a lot, like it's giving us our revenue and it's making us a profitable company. And betting for the B2B revenue model, which is selling our scorings to other financial institutions and getting paid by every time they use the score. We are starting with this, with a B2B, like we're having the first revenue here. We've been working on that for 6 months and we are having more traction than what I expected. So it's like, as a company, how we manage both revenue streams and how both revenue streams actually talk to one another and make our algorithms better. In the end, that's the idea, right? Like we are a data company in the end. And finding the right partners to come with us at this moment as investors. I got many investors that were not we got the money, that's fine. And there's a point where you just need the money. You don't care like if the investor will help you or not, to be honest. But at the point we need investors that actually come with value added, not just money. So we need both things, like money, but also a lot of value added and investors that can grow the pie with us, not just put the money and see what happens,
Share your experience. How are you planning out to do that, to find those partners, to find those investors?
So it's the first time that this is happening to us, but we are at a point right now where investors are coming to look at me and like talk to me rather than I'm chasing them. Right? So I've been chasing people these whole years. I've been like a hustler. I am a hustler. I'm super pushy and like I've been like just like pushing and like hustling and like, you know, like crazy. And then at this point, because we already can prove something, and because of all these spaces where I'm having like exposure, they are coming and wanting to invest. So I'm trying to see how actually that might be better for me, you know, than chasing. But it's not easy to get to that point and to feel that confident. It's new for me. And I'm trying to see, okay, well, let's try to see how this methodology works, you know?
Because you will have to choose, and it's not necessarily the choice that you would like to make, or because what's the difficulty about that?
The difficulty is that, or either you go and you are, as I was saying, chasing people, or either you say, no, wait, I won't be chasing all of them. I will just show what I'm doing, LinkedIn, mostly events, panels, this kind of stuff, and wait for the right one to come to me. So it's a different strategy of like energy situation. So far, in this time, but also because of the stage of my company, I couldn't have done that at the beginning, right? But right now we can do that. I think the right ones are coming, right? So but I'm saying it's difficult because you need to trust that actually you are good enough for people to come and want to invest on you.
One very last but super important question. It's not actually a question, but it's actually, you know, might ask you to probably address to other little girls or just women, like any woman of any age out there who are thinking about maybe starting something themselves.
Yeah.
Send a message.
Okay. I think that we need to, if we want to see a different world, then we need to create new things that are more aligned with women values, more solutions that have more empathy, that are more vulnerable from the inside, and that are connected to the soul of the founder. And I feel that if as women, we believe that we can change the world, then the solutions that we are bringing might have some kind of social impact. And we've seen that in the 10 finalists of the Aurora Award. All of us are doing some kind of social impact, even if this award is not for social impact, but all of us are doing that because that's what usually we do as women. So just do it, because we need more solutions guided by women and that have our values on it.